Hello and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this week's new episode of X Vlog Live. I'm your host, Mr. BoomStick XL. Ladies and gentlemen, we have an outstanding 75-ish minutes to hang out. We got two big topics to get into, one of which is, well, the confirmation from Xbox that they're going to be at GDC. Question is, are they going to be there in a big way? I actually think they are, and I'm going to get into why that is as soon as we can get C Money in here. We've been talking to the DM, so he should be here momentarily. Now, the second topic, and I think this is the big one of the show. Obsidian has the conversation of the gaming community because of Avowed, right? Avowed is doing its thing. A lot of people are playing it. And I got to tell you, as someone that has over 110 hours in, when I see other people's builds, I sometimes wonder, folks, chat, get involved here. Let me know if you think the same way I do. I see people using guns. Now, I use guns very sparingly. I tried them out. I'm like, it's just not my thing. I'm more into a wizard, kind of a thing, right? That was my build. Fighter, sure. Tried the bow and arrow, not my thing. Saw a clip from Cloreal where he was shooting like 7 arrows, these black arrows, and they would just one after rapid fire. And I'm like, maybe I played this game all wrong. And then, of course, I'm seeing people play with guns. I'm seeing people play with daggers that are on fire and axes that are, giving out poison. And I'm thinking to myself, damn, did I play this game all wrong? No, the answer is no, of course not. You play it to your style for sure, but it's just one of those things that you look back and you say, my God, for the love of the gaming gods, Bethesda, please, I said Bethesda, Obsidian, please add a new game plus so I can start this bad boy over with all my gear and then try something different because I don't want to start from the beginning, but I want to start from the beginning. But let's bring in my brother from another, C Money. What's going on, dude? How you feeling?
What is up? What is up? Sorry, man. Work. Goddamn.
You know
It's
what?
big game.
How dare work get in the way of your podcasting time?
I know. What's wrong with them? Do they not watch this show? Don't they
Oh
know?
my
It's
goodness.
go time.
How
My
you feeling,
God.
man?
Oh, I'm good, man. I'm good. Yeah, it's everybody's good, so I'm happy. We've been having a
Listen,
good
as
week.
long as the missus and the kids are doing well, business is doing well, you can hold your head up high that you're doing what you're supposed to do as a father, as a husband, and we're here to talk about video games. And I'm happy to work with you every Thursday. Love the work
Yes,
that you're
sir.
doing in the community. Obviously, at times could be a bit slanderous, but you know what? You put people in their place that deserve to be put there. Some people, put themselves out there as being just real D's, and well, you have no problem slapping them back down into place. And sometimes some people need that. I'm sorry, it just is what it is.
Yeah.
But
Somebody
see,
gotta do it.
money. Listen, we got two big topics to get into. Now, the first one is, of course, going to be about what's happening at GDC, which is in a couple of weeks. Right now, I sent you over the write up for what's actually happening at GDC, and of course, Microsoft and Xbox specifically put an article out there, a blog post talking about it. And Shinobi 602 is the one that brought this to my attention. So shout out to Shinobi 602. He actually has the post in front of me here, C Money. It says Xbox at GDC 2025, discover the next era of gaming anywhere. Now, this is just, again, folks, I'm going to add the blog post that's directly from developer.microsoft.com into the show notes. I don't want to read it all. It's really a lot. I am going to read one very interesting paragraph that should lead us to a bunch of really interesting conversation. And it says this, ladies and gentlemen, Xbox is expanding to any screen on any device, making it easier for anyone to play with their friends wherever they want. Whether they choose to play with Xbox console, PC, smart TV, or mobile, at GDC, we are inviting game developers to go behind the scenes to better understand what it means for Xbox to be playable on any screen. We're committed to empowering game developers to tap into that opportunity by building cross-capable games that take advantage of Xbox across devices. Our presence will reveal that in many ways, game developers can reach more players with Xbox and showcase success stories of developers who are maximizing this opportunity. Now, granted, there's a bit of corpo speak there. If we want to kind of, layman terms it's basically they want to show off some of the game developers in the community that have worked with Xbox that are currently Xbox Anywhere titles. And it makes sense, right? The more people that have access to your content, the better chance you're going to have on a sale. Now, interestingly enough, Mav from Fun Speculation literally put out not only a post on Twitter, he specifically talked about it on Monday Night Show on FSP, where he said, C Money, that moving forward, his game purchases are going to be around what is Xbox Anywhere. And if it's not, he won't purchase the game. And that is, well, that's pro-consumerism, if you will. He wants to maximize his spending by buying a product that is available not only on his PC, not only on the box that's underneath his TV, but on his tablet, on his phone while he's working, wherever. I think that, again, we don't have any more specifics on what's going to be there. Folks, I got to tell you, my gut is telling me that it's more than that. Now, what does that mean? I honestly don't know, C Money, because I kind of feel like for the last couple of years, has Xbox ever really did like a big presentation or hey, we're gonna look at us, we're gonna be there at GDC? I don't ever recall that being a thing. This particular year kind of feels a bit different. And I kind of feel because we're on the cusp of a potential handheld. We're on the cusp of new hardware, which may or may not be in 2026. It may be 27, but I'm still banking on 26. They got to show something at some point. And June, as we know, is going to be loaded with a lot of games. This might actually be a good position where not only are games media, gamers like us who are in it, watching what's going on GDC, but maybe even some of the normies might be involved with being to learn what Xbox Anywhere actually means. Let's get your thoughts on this, dude.
Yeah. Well, first, I think you brought up Mav. I don't think Mav says he won't buy it. I think that is gonna weigh heavy on his.
Well, it's gonna be it's gonna move him in the decision of whether or not to. Yeah,
because like if Grand Theft Auto it doesn't have any of those things, and he's a Grand Theft Auto fan, he's probably gonna still buy the game.
Well,
right?
I think cockroaches are gonna buy Grand Theft Auto 6. I mean, let's call a spade a spade. They're saving their pennies right now as we speak.
That's the truth. That's the truth. But yeah, no, and I do agree with that idea. Like, obviously, if the game supports that, it becomes a much easier idea of a purchase. Not that I'm, purchasing too many games nowadays. We got Game Pass, so we have tons. But yeah, for the ones that are not in Game Pass, the decision would, become a little easier if you feel like you're getting more for your bang, like more bang for your buck. You know what I'm saying? That being said, when it comes to GDC, and clearly they're talking about when they say, I guess for me it gets a little crazy because they say expanding, right? So like they say Xbox, like they're expanding, and it's like, well, what is there to expand to that you are not already on?
That's that's a very interesting angle, sir.
You know what I'm saying? Because if you think about what they said, like they're already on mobile, they're already on PC, they're already on TVs, they're already on laptops, they're already everywhere that you can game. On the handheld devices, you can, if you have a Windows device, you load up your Xbox Game Pass, you download the Xbox app, and you're good to go. If you're doing like a Steam Deck or something like that, you have Steam, you can buy your games on Steam, right? So they're there as well. So it's just it's just interesting, right? What is there to expand to, right? Games are already coming to PlayStation, games are already coming to Nintendo. Um, I don't know. It kind of makes you wonder about what they're doing. Like what's new that can possibly be there to expand to. You know what I'm saying? Are they bringing new hardware? Are new people? Or is there new hardware coming out that we don't know about from from partners, and they're gonna show
Interesting.
us stuff?
Yeah.
Um, I mean, there's a lot of like angles that this could be taken. And again, like you got to understand, when you're Xbox, when you're a corporation, when you write down words, they matter. You know what I'm saying? They didn't fucking look up a thesaurus like, what's another word for this? I'll throw in expanding. That sounds about right. Like, no, they're being very specific. Can you read back that? I don't have it in front of me. Can you read back that first kind of like opening line where they talk about it, just so I can make sure that I'm
Sure. No,
remembering it
absolutely.
correctly?
I'm going to read. I'll read it verbatim. Again, this is from the Xbox at GDC blog post, courtesy of Shinobi 602, and he says this. And well, the quote says this: Xbox is expanding to any screen on any device, making it easier for anyone to play with their friends wherever they want. Whether they choose to play with Xbox consoles, PC, smart TV, or mobile, at GDC, we're inviting game developers to go behind the scenes to better understand what it means for Xbox to be playable on any screen.
Okay, so yeah, so it's still kind of that same thing, right? Where it's saying we're expanding to these things, but you're already there. So there has to be a reason why expanding is being used, right? Like
Right.
you're already on all of these devices, right? So there has to be something. Either way, the fact that, like, I feel like Xbox is crazy right now because they just have so much going on. Like we know for a fact that we know they're working on a handheld, right? That's already been, discussed. We know they're working on next gen console. That's already been, discussed. So it's like they're cranking in every way. We know they're working on this whole Muse AI backwards compatible, forward compatible. Like, dude, there's so much happening at Xbox, and this is all stuff that they are sharing with us. Like stuff that we just know is happening.
Yeah.
Um, it's crazy. It's crazy. What a time for them, man. They're crushing it. I'm
You know
very
what's
excited.
interesting? It's funny you say that because I don't really think, see money, that Xbox specifically gets enough credit for what they have done in this short 2025, right? Like we still have a day left of February, which means that we are technically, by the numbers game, only 2 months into the year. And in that 2 months, right, you have the Dev Direct, which Tina Amini and her team, they killed it. You got a shadow drop of Ninja Gaiden 2 Black. You got the confirmation that Ninja Gaiden 4 happening later this year. You have already, now again, I did not like the event because IGN produced it and they did a real terrible job, but they had an indie showcase through ID at Xbox. There is expected to be a partners event happening in March for Xbox, not first party, but their partners. I would imagine games that are going to Xbox Game Pass. You had the Fable reveal, which of course there was the delay into 26, but you had that dope ass video showing us actual gameplay, which I don't care when anyone tries to refute it. That folks was gameplay. And we're only into the first 60 something days or 59 days of the year. Like, I mean, Xbox is hitting on all cylinders, ladies and gentlemen. And this is just another feather in that cap because listen, see, you hit the nail on the head. I don't think they use the word expand if they're not going to do something different than we already know that they've done. So the question is, what is that? And could they be there in a big way? The answer is, I think they might be.
Mm. You know, West Philly in the chat just brought up a great point. He talking literally about how for devs we're doing it, we're expanding everywhere, right? And they list everything. He
Yup,
puts in here
he
in
nailed it.
GDC Universal Xbox OS. So it looks the
He
same
has
on mobile, TV, PC, and console. Steam on, dude. That
that's it.
might be it. The OS might be ready. They might have finally. They're ready to go ahead and show you what the game's gonna look like on, what your menu look like on your phone, your TV, on the PC. Maybe they got that PC, the new look ready to go. This is that's possible, man. That's possible. It could be an OS thing as well.
You know what? West Philly 06, comment of the day. Let's start it up on the screen for West Philly. First of all, there it is, folks. West Philly 06.
There we go.
He says, I think GDC equals Universal Xbox OS, so it looks the same on mobile, TV, PC, and console. Brother, that is a grand salami right there. That's what that is.
That is very likely be
cap,
it.
or tip of the mohawk, if you will. That's exactly what I think it is. I again, it's all speculation. Shout out to West Philly 06 once again for the dynamite, comment. But I actually think that's actually what it is, because we did hear that they are testing it. Like, I know people that are actually testing it. I'm not testing it, unfortunately. I freaking wish I was, and then I couldn't even say that because I'd be under NDA. But I know people that are testing it. So they're working on it, and they obviously want that universe. They basically, what they're looking to do is to make whatever you see on your console is what you're going to see on your phone, your PC, your TV, your tablet. And that's actually what they need to do. They need a universal one OS to rule them all, so to speak. And I think that's actually where they could do that, because that really does align to bringing in developers to say, hey, listen, this is what we have, this Xbox everywhere thing. This is what it looks like. And your game that someone buy or bought, whether they have microtransactions or they don't, that particular point of view, and I go right back to Mav. He buys a lot of games. I buy a lot of games. You buy a lot of games. But I think buying games is going to be easier for the person who plays on multiple screens, who not only plays on their TV, we all buy these banger TVs, and that's where we want to sit on our couch right in front of the big screen with our sound bar or our headphones, and we go, right? That's what we do. We're nerds. But we are also in 2025. And being in 2025 allows us to game on your tablet, when you're doing the laundry, game on your phone while you're waiting for the missus to come out of work or whatever. And this is an opportunity to show off this OS that is, of course, one to rule them all, as well as, hey, this is what your game is going to look like when someone is watching it on their phone. I think it's brilliant, and I think that is definitely what's going to be there. It makes sense.
I mean, it does make sense. I think they have to make it a big deal as well, because theoretically this is not something that, as much as it sounds great for us, right, it's not really something great for devs theoretically in their mind, right? Because essentially, they're giving away multiple copies of their games, for the same price, right? So clearly, Microsoft is going to have to sweeten the pot for them, right? When
there's going to be some
stuff,
sort of back end, user case. If so much X amount of people use it on their phone, you get this much. I would believe it's something similar to a Game Pass. How many downloads versus how many playing is how much they get.
Yeah, how many people are actually downloading on PC? How many people, are playing on different devices? I think they're gonna have to do something, because at the end of the day, for us, it makes all the sense in the world, right? But that's why I find it a little weird when some people keep telling Microsoft, like, make this happen, like, you better make this happen. Like, I want all my games like this. It's like, motherfucker, what do you think they like? Of course they would want it, but these like, you literally have to convince people that let's give away your PC game, all right, to the guy who bought one copy of the game, all right, versus when you sell your game on PlayStation, and if that person wants a copy of the PC version, they got to go buy 2, right? So that's not an necessarily easy sell. So I'm very intrigued to see, what they do at GDC. I mean, obviously, there's most of it's probably gonna be behind closed doors where we're not gonna get to see, the talk of that stuff, like how they negotiate that. Um, but ultimately, I think it's interesting to see what's gonna happen. I'm very,
I'm
very
wondering if it
very
could be something like that when you buy a movie, like you buy it from Amazon, you have the ability to watch it pretty much everywhere that's not Amazon. I forgot what it's called. Is it Movies
movies
Anywhere?
anywhere.
That's what it
Yeah,
is. Okay, so
movies
it is
anywhere. Yeah,
Movies
yeah, yeah.
Anywhere.
Anytime you do a digital code, you can watch it anywhere.
And I'm wondering if it's going to be something similar to that. Again, we're just spitballing here. We don't know. All I know is that they're going to be there, in a big way. And again, shout out to Philly for that because that was brilliant. I didn't even think
Yeah.
about that. I had totally forgotten that they are working on that because again, we all, well, not we all, a lot of us have ROG Allies and Steam Decks and things of that nature, Lenovo's and Legion Go's. A lot of us have those things. They're all different, right? They all run differently when it comes to Xbox. And again, if they were talking about it at the end of last year, they started talking about it at the beginning of this year, and now GDC is happening. Obviously, it's going to be a big deal. I think that's what it could be. The question is though, what else are they bringing? I mean, obviously, if they're going to bring that unified OS to GDC, not only to show off to game developers, they're probably going to need something to show it off on. Right? Does that make sense to UC and the rest of the chat? Because if you're going to show it, yeah, sure, we all have these devices, but again, and we're just completely spitballing here. If you're going to show off a unified OS, it would make sense to actually have a device. Could it be their own device? Oh man, I'd freaking love that, because even if it's only hey, this is what it's going to look like. It's not coming out to next year. At least we'll know that this is what it looks like. I don't know, man. Any final thoughts before we move on to what I consider to be the big show? The big topic of the show, and that is what is coming next from Obsidian Entertainment. I went all the way back to 2023 and pulled articles, and I kind of did a Dark Knight situation. I'm putting on the detective cap for this one.
Okay, Batman.
Yeah.
nice. No, I mean, as far as the GDC show, I'm just excited for it. I'm looking forward to see what they bring. I'm really, really hopeful after the homie in the chat brought that up.
Yeah,
I'm really hopeful that we're going to see.
Comment, man.
Yeah, I'm really hopeful that we're going to see a handheld UI, that's obviously also PC, right? Because that's what basically they're doing. They're kind of killing two birds with one stone. Bring a new, skin to PC where you get to like play your Xbox as opposed to doing a PC thing first, like a Steam Deck, right? Like Steam OS, like big picture mode or something like that. And then how that transfers over to a small screen, that really would change a lot for me on my usage. That's one of my biggest pains in the ass, and that's why I kind of stopped. Like I have the ROG Ally, but it's like I kind of stopped using it because it's like
it's a bit of a hassle.
Another time I have to log in again or log me out. So every time I got to log in, and if I want to go to, if I want to play an EA game or a Ubisoft game, I got to log in again. It's like, God damn it. Like on the PC, it's fine, right? Because you got, your mouse, keyboard, just bang it out, log in, call it a day. But on your handheld, it's all that small shit. You got to tap and your little fucking tiny baby fucking fingers and shit. Like, come on, man. This is crazy out here.
Yeah. I mean, listen,
so I'm really hopeful.
I have a ROG Ally, and I don't use it because exactly what you said. I know, oh my God, you got to press a couple of buttons. It is, but I'm limited for time. Right.
Yep.
And I say that all the, like on a regular
I mean, you
basis.
should use it for cloud.
Cloud is dope. Yeah. For
You
cloud,
can just log into to turn your ROG Ally to a Xbox Cloud device, because I don't know if you've been messing with cloud at all lately.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
That shit works. I mean, it's done.
It works
the
great, as a
idea,
matter of fact. I had
yeah.
the first handheld that was cloud based. I forgot what
Yep,
it
the
was.
LG, the Logitech.
Yes.
I still have it. I still use it.
I wound up
Actually,
giving that to my brother. He uses it at work. He said it works fantastic. Every time I've used it, when I had it, was just it worked. It worked great.
Yeah. Like, cloud gaming is 100% usable right now. The only thing that you will run into, and even still we do it, but like if you're a sweat in multiplayer, then yeah, you're obviously it's not the best. But if you're casual multiplayer, like if you just want to say, man, I got like 20 minutes or 15 minutes, I want to jump into a round of Call of Duty, it absolutely works. No problem. I get kills. It's not like, oh my God, I'm some dumb. No, get in there. I do just about the same as I do on a regular controller on my TV. So like all those narratives that you hear people still talking about it, don't believe them.
They
don't believe them. It's a lie.
Sad?
It's a lie. I do most of my gaming on cloud now. I mean,
when you hear them talking about it, you realize that they have never even used it. It's so ridiculous.
Exactly. It's so stupid. That shit works. I mean, and I bounce between xCloud and GeForce Now, which is nice. Also, I mean, that when you play that is, you could be a sweat and play that. Like, that shit is just 1-to-1.
It's put it to this way. I pay every 6 months. I have never seen them offer the year thing, and it's worth every penny, because I don't use it very often, but when I do use it, it's exactly what you said. You could play Call of Duty on it and not even worry about it.
Yeah, and they got me. See, it's crazy because I'm kind of stuck in it because I'm a founder. So I have it from the first moment it came out, I signed up for it. So once they changed all their pricing and did all that stuff, they grandfathered us in, but it's literally until you cancel. So if I ever cancel, then I got to go back to paying what regular people are paying, and I'm good. I'm good. I take my founder's price, but it's worth it. Honestly, my Steam Deck, the OLED one that I have, is my GeForce Now, my GeForce Now handheld. Nice. Because they have a native app on there, so it's easy to use. And then on the cloud, on the Logitech, that's my xCloud handheld.
Okay.
So I just swap between them, live my best life. It works perfectly. Fucking Avowed, so many hours I haven't Avowed on the handheld. Oh,
that's dope. Yeah, that's
so good, dude. So good. So good.
Well, we're definitely gonna see. I believe it's it's gonna be their I think it starts on the 15th, I think,
of March,
19th. Yeah, it's in a couple of weeks. We'll know, and obviously, who knows what will break, what will leak before then. Hopefully, nothing. I think if there's going to be any surprises, I hope we're all surprised that we wake up whenever morning that is, and it's like, oh my God, this is what the the handheld looks like, or this is what their streaming box. They surprise everybody with the streaming box. Whatever it's going to be, I have a feeling that the lead of the conversation is going to be this universal OS that they've been working on that for years. So it makes sense that they've been talking about it. And this is if there's any one event, a tech event that you want to be at to show it off, it's GDC for sure. But
facts. Also, I just want to caveat, just to be clear. I guess when I'm talking about cloud, I'm also talking about someone who has competent internet.
Well, you have to have good service.
Like if you have crap internet, then clearly
it's not going to work.
I would feel like I shouldn't have to say that at this point, right? We know cloud requires good internet. If you don't have good internet, then obviously I'm not talking about you going ahead and using the cloud, right? If you don't have good internet, then it's not going to work for you. So I just want to caveat that, so people don't keep going with the idea that
I have to say that out loud. To be honest with you, yeah, it's
all right. We get it. We get it. No doubt.
It's fine. But listen, let me catch up on a couple of super chats. We got a channel member chat here from Music72, who's been a channel member
Music.
for Music. What's going on, brother? Welcome back. He's been a channel member for a whopping 5 months. He says time flies, especially with all of these games. Indeed, it's like I said, it's too many games. I started playing Balaltro this morning. You know what? I played 6 games. I got past like the first couple of levels, and I'm like, I don't.
You gotta play with somebody who knows how to play it.
That's what it is.
So this is the thing. I've been playing it on my phone because it was in Apple Arcade.
Okay.
So that's where I was playing it, and then it came to Game Pass, right? So I said, "Fuck it." That night, I streamed it, right? And I played my first, few hands or whatever, and it was fine. Like I get the gist of it. But then when it's like the problem is the jokers, right?
Yes, you got to buy those cards. Yeah.
If you don't understand 100% what each joker really does, you're basically wasting your time. So thankfully, I had this dude. I'll never forget his name because I said it so many times during the stream because he was he just knew it. He helped me out so much. Trent 82. I don't know if you've ever seen him, but he was super dope. And he basically every time I was like looking at one, he was like, no, you got to get that one. And once I got the right configuration of jokers and understanding, like they do it from, it's like orders of operation.
Combos were ridiculous, weren't they?
Like you have to learn it and know it, but then once you do, I mean, it's pretty dope. It's pretty dope. It's still not. I'm sorry, but like I would never co-sign the idea that this game could have been game of the year. But as a fun game, like especially if you're just streaming and like having people hang out with you and play, it's definitely dope. It's definitely dope. I had a good time and I won. So so I played one hand, lost, then I re-upped it. That's when Trent really started to engage and help me understand some of these cards, and I beat the whole thing. So
good on you, brother. I'm gonna give it another go. I put it to this way. I know that some people have compared it to the addictiveness of Vampire Survivors. I don't see that yet. I do understand the jokers because I had 3 of them and I was doing pretty good. Like I was getting some. I had like a one that gave me times 10 for every club. That I put out there. I had one that that gave me a triple bonus when I had 3 of a kind. So I understand it. I just have to continue to play.
It's the harder ones. Those are the simpler ones to get. It's the harder ones,
the rare
like
ones, yes,
like the rarer ones, and the other ones they say some weird shit. Like there was a blank card, and it says for every bonus pack you skip, you get times 3 multiplier. And I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? So like that card, literally every time you finish a round, you go buy the cheapest pack of the bonus cards on the bottom right, right? Like those little bonus ones, you buy it and then skip it, and that card gets 3 times more.
Holy matrimony.
Power. So by the time I finished, I was at 60. It was like almost 70 times.
Wow.
Just with that one joker, just that one. And then I found the one that he really helped me with was this joker that gave you a 3 times multiplier. I didn't understand what it was saying, but it's actually 3 times the whole thing. So if you got like 20, 30,000 in there at the end, it will multiply that by 3. But that would be if you do the same hand twice. And I didn't even know what like a hand was. So I mean, that's what I was all confused. But like if you do like a flush and then you do a flush again, that next flush, however many points that is, gets multiplied by 3.
Wow.
So
that's crazy.
And you could do that multiple times. And once you learn how to play it, it's kind of, look at me talking like I'm some type of.
Listen, no, you were school, bro. Well, you're teaching me, so there you go, brother.
I like it.
I know it's based on Texas Hold'em, which I never really played. I'm learning it. I'm learning. It's fine. It is what it is. But Music, great to see you here, brother. We have Andre Doyle drops a very generous $2 super chat and says he's loving Avowed and he got a lot of unique legendaries. Yeah, I have a ton. Nice. Okay, so there's an achievement. I'm mad at myself. In one of the beginning segments, you're going to come to. I'm telling everyone, it's not a spoiler. This is to save you the aggravation of missing this effing achievement, which I did. You're going to come up to a farm where they use zombies to do the work. And if you complete that particular mission, she gives you a charm. I'm not going to tell you how to complete the mission, but she gives you a charm. I sold the charm like an a-hole. And then I'm looking at the list of achievements, and there is a particular armor set called Necro Pants that you are just shirtless and just everything naked except for the pants. And if you wear the pants and this charm, you get a 30-point achievement. I have the pants, I don't have the charm. So now I can't get it.
Why have the pants? God damn it.
They're called Necro Pants. You'll know when you find them, because you wear them and all you're wearing are pants. That's all you wear. It's crazy.
Wow.
So I'm assuming I'm going to have to at one point start this game over and take my Necro Pants and the charm whenever I get it again. So it is
a little stingy with the points.
It is a little cheapy.
Like super stingy. Like I'm over 100 hours and I still have like 180 or 190.
Yeah. As you start unlocking the achievements as you complete the game, but there are some in there. Like there's one to complete every side quest. I don't know. There's one that was very difficult to get. With all of the charms for the hell are they called? The totems. There are a total of 4 totems to find in the game. What the totems do
for each world, right?
Yeah. So what they do is they give your team and you buffs, and you get more buffs the more you have of these pieces. So there's a total of 7 per hub. And the first one is to actually find the totem. And then there are 6 additional pieces that you have to find that are littered in that hub. And I found all of them. And that's an achievement. And that was
nice.
Freaking difficult. Now, I found almost all of them on my own. The last 6, I'm not going to front. I used a guide. I'm like, I cannot find these effing things. And I'm going crazy. So I used a guide. But yeah, it's good stuff, brother. I'm glad you're enjoying it. I can't wait for the new game plus. I want to play it again. Like I want to start from the beginning, but I don't want to start from the beginning.
It's so good, man. It's so good. But see, I don't know. It depends. See, you played. I think you're right. For you, because the way you were playing it, you didn't kind of rush through to get the review done. Yep. So you were able to do more your first playthrough. Where me, I spent like so much time in that first area, but then I was like, oh snap, like I gotta start.
I gotta finish this.
I still did exploration and stuff, and I loved it, but it's like I had to get the ball rolling. So now my second playthrough, I'm literally painting in the entire map. Like there's no stone unturned, and I found I'm literally playing a different game than I played the first time around. It's phenomenal, and it's just so good, and there's so much in the game, and I thought there was a lot in the game. There's so much more in the game that I didn't even like, whole storylines, whole different things that did not even affect the end game. Like I beat the game, didn't have to do any of this stuff, and it's just all coloring, right? Just all extra stuff, give you more insight, more fun things to do. Man, it's so good.
I mean, again, I have to reiterate this. I know people might be tired of hearing me talk about it, but I really mean this from my heart. The more that you put into this game, the more the game rewards you. Like the more you look around every corner, you are thanked by the game with a legendary or a side quest or something that changes the story's landscape for you. It's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. So I do want to just catch up on these super chats. We're going to segue into Obsidian because, folks, I'm here to tell you, I have it on confirmed authority from multiple people that I've spoken to, as well as multiple reports that go all the way back to Xbox Era's article, which I have in front of me, that they are working on a third IP. Now, I don't know if it's a new IP or an old IP. I have some theories. We'll break that down in a second. Day Reezy, my brother. How you doing, brother? Thank you so much for being here. He drops a very generous $2 super chat and says, morning boom and C money hashtag Xbox better. Xbox butter. Actually, I want to change the second one to Xbox mustard. Just for you, damn it. Hashtag Xbox mustard.
Fucking A. God damn it. It's disgusting shit.
Oh my goodness.
How you gonna take my favorite thing and put it with the worst
thing? I apologize. This is what brothers do. We tease each other. So there you go.
God damn it, Boom.
Sith Lord drops a very generous $2 super chat and says, "Don't forget about the Tony Hawk announcement for 3 and 4." Yeah, you know what? I do have that on tap. That was going to be. I was going to talk about that on Tuesday. Then we had the breaking news. I'm moving the Tony Hawk conversation to tomorrow's Breakfast with Boom because, again, I think it's very exciting. Cat's out of the bag. An announcement is happening next week. I think on the 4th. You saw Tony Hawk take that picture with all of the old dudes from when he used to skate with this crew. I think that picture is brilliant because, again, I'm an old man, so I'm right there with him. I'm looking forward to it. I enjoyed the Tony Hawk games. I didn't love the Tony Hawk games.
Yeah,
I'm more of
really much for me.
An SSX tricky kind of a guy when you talk about extreme sports. I'm always hoping that comes back in a big way because Tricky is one of the best SSX titles they've ever released. I don't know if EA will ever do it, but if they like money, they will. We have Will the Insider Broke Boy Lewis drops a very generous $10 super chat. Will goes on to say this.
Boy. Do you cane on me? That's his real name. That's his real name.
Yes. He says, "I'm about 6 hours into Avowed, just entered Paradise, having fun, but it's going to be interesting. Don't think I've ever played a single player RPG for over 10 hours. I just lose interest fast." I mean, I hear you. Sometimes it's a bit daunting. This is a bit different though. I really think because the world never feels too big, but it does feel big if you are someone like me that likes to go to every corner of the map. Like, again, this game got a lot of, I think, fake hate for the quote unquote hub area. And some people ran with, "Oh, it's a hub area, so it's small." No, it's not, because I know people that have spent 40 hours in one region. Just saying.
Dude, I literally went through the game, beat the game, and there was entire areas, especially in, I would say in Thirdborn, like in that
there is so much in there, it's crazy.
So much of the world that I did not even step foot in when I first went through it and beat the game. And meanwhile, I'm on my second playthrough and I just got to that Thirdborn place, and I'm just exploring everywhere else. And there's these crazy dope ass caves, and there's these big ass fucking places. It's so, they're so smart with how they develop these levels, man. The verticality, you got to remember, this is not about just width, it's height, right? Y'all know. You know what I'm saying? All right. So
just call them kickstand C money. There you go, brother.
Listen, when you go to when you're playing the game, you gotta look up. There's things to climb, there's places to find that
if you think you can get to the top of something, the chances are you can get to the top of it.
And the chances are there's something there waiting for you for having climbed up there. It's so dope, man. It's so good.
Again, I could probably spend 3 hours just talking about Avowed. And again, it's not botting.
Dude, our whole show, last week, every show last week, we opened it just talking, and it would just automatically lead to like a 45-minute like Avowed conversation, like
because it's one of the best games of 2025. Listen,
it really, honestly, if I'm being dead honest, it has made its way into one of my favorite games of all time. Like, it's one of my all-time favorite games. I have not put time into a game on a second. See, this is what kills me when people say I put 800 hours in the game, it was mid. No, go screw yourself. You got something wrong with you. If you put that much time into something and you don't enjoy every moment of that, there's something wrong with you. So I beat games, and then normally I just move on with my life. Okay, I beat them, I keep it moving, right? Even if I love it, right? Hellblade 2 was my game of the year until Indiana Jones. Beat it. I wanted to go back, right? And I did for a charity stream, but I also didn't, right? I didn't just go back and say, all right, I'm going to play through it again. Same thing with Indiana Jones. Loved it. There were some certain things I was missing. I was like, all right, I'm going to go back. And I did. I went back a little bit, but did I go all the way back? No, right? This game, I beat it, put 70 hours in beating it, and I'm already like 30 hours in to a second playthrough. I do not replay games. So for me, I have to be realistic of what that means. Outside of Halo, back in the day, I used to replay that shit all the time. Not anymore because I don't have time. But this bitch, yeah, I am.
Yeah,
I'm replaying it and I'm loving
this
it.
is
So
the one thing
one of my
that's
faves.
very,
One of my
very
faves for sure.
interesting here, C Money. I see if you agree with me, and we're gonna get to the Obsidian topic, but we'll get there. But this is one of those games that even if you only have 20 minutes,
Yes,
and you go into the game, you feel like you really got your 20 minutes worth
yes.
because you found this, right?
You remember? Remember Bungie with the way they first sold the idea of Halo, right? And their mythology, like their method behind it, was 30 seconds of fun, right? So you shouldn't be any more than 30 seconds away from doing something fun or entertaining. I swear to God, I feel like that's what they accomplished here. I
Yeah,
feel like
good
in
point.
Avowed, if you go in any one direction within 30 seconds, you're gonna find something that piques your interest, that there's a camp of bad guys that you want to go beat their ass, or there's some dope ass looking architecture that is so fantastical that it looks so dope that it just pulls you to it. Like they really, really nailed it. And it's funny because we saw Fable, right? The updated clip, and it's stunning, right? But Avowed is equally stunning. It's
It
just
is. I agree.
different, right? I feel like Fable is super beautiful, clearly, but it's going for a realistic, fantastical setting, right? So it's fantasy, but it all looks grounded and super realistic, right? Whereas Avowed has all the tech behind it, like that Unreal Engine 5 is beautiful, right? Like you get up to there, you see the detail, the lighting, so beautiful. But when you look into the world, they went for like it all just looks
Like
so
a
fantastical.
whimsical
With everything,
Hallmark
the
card, if you
architecture, the
will.
way
Yeah.
it made everything, it
Yeah.
just looks so good. Oh man, so different, such a different experience. But I love it. It's so good,
It's
man.
funny you talk about that. I literally said in the opening before you jumped in, I says, I was watching other people their gameplay, which is something I normally don't do. One, I don't have time, and B, I'd rather be playing myself, right? But
Facts.
I saw Clobriel put up a clip yesterday, as a matter of fact, where he's using an archer build, which I never used, and he had this one. He's like showing it, and it's got like these 7 glowing black arrows, and one after another. And I'm like, holy shit, what is happening? I saw somebody.
Wow.
Now, I love lightning, right? One, because I love Ride the Lightning, which of course is one of my favorite Metallica albums. And I love it as a magician, as using when I use magic. I didn't really explore it. I saw someone literally light up the entire freaking room with lightning storms, and it was. And I said in the
Yeah.
opening, I says, "Did I play this game wrong? Like it's
Dude, I'm telling you, magic is a whole different, like you can like I did it. I'm not using it too crazy, but I put the points into it. So there's levels of magic books that you can
oh, dude, I
use.
maxed out all my books, brother. I got
Okay, so you
4
just
of them.
gotta
I
find
maxed
them,
all 4 of
right?
them
There's
out.
so many different books out there. There's not just a few. You gotta find these. There's so many different spells out there. Like I have one that gives me a I can summon like this staff or this bow, and it's a poison bow, so it glows green,
Yes.
and it's bang bang just oh my god, I love it. But it's so dope, man. Literally however you want to play this game, like you can literally play this game as just different builds every time you play it, and you'll get a different gameplay experience, right? Like that's the crazy part of it, man.
Yeah, and it's a game
good.
I think we're all going to be talking about by the end of the year. Honestly, I think this is going to win. It could potentially win RPG of the year now that Fable's out of the way.
Honestly, now that Fable's gone, yeah, absolutely. I think RPG of the year might be in the bag unless Outer Worlds finds a way to, I feel like they're just going to be going up against themselves. I think it's going to be
Could very well be. It could be
Obsidian and them.
mirror
And it doesn't look
imaging.
like that. It doesn't look like that Elden Ring multiplayer. That multiplayer game. I think that's coming out this year. I don't think
think so.
that doesn't look like people are.
A lot of people aren't really digging it. A lot of the early
they're not
reports
digging
is that
it much.
it's okay. And of
Yeah.
course, you just had the Monster Hunter, which there's a lot of visual issues with it, especially on the
Yep.
PlayStation 5 Pro.
It looks
which is
really crappy,
it
actually.
looks really bad. It looks like
for this
PlayStation
gen.
3 graphics, which is not really cool. But it's here no there. But lastly, Smokey in the chat, who's been a channel member for a whopping, holy crap,
Damn.
47 months.
Smokey,
Smokey,
you're the
thank you
man.
so much for the
That's
support.
awesome.
He says, did you know that there's a setting you can turn on so that the totem pieces show up on your compass? Question mark. By default, it's turned off. I didn't know that until I saw someone tweet about it, and
Yeah, it was Jen, right?
yeah,
Jen something.
Jen, yes, Jen tweeted
She
about it. I'm
tweeted
like, oh
about it.
my god,
Yeah, I
holy
saw that. I was like, oh snap!
yeah,
Did not know that.
it does make a difference. But listen, ladies and gentlemen, I do want to move on to, of course, the second topic. This is the big one. Now, look, I went and pulled out an article. Now, this was published by Xbox Era. Let's see, do I have that in front of me? Yes, actually, here it is. It appears Obsidian has a third unannounced project in the works. And this does not, of course, this removes from the conversation Avowed and the Outer Worlds. Now, it goes on to say this. Now, first of all, let me give the author's name. It's Genghis Hassan Medin. Is, I believe, how you say it. He wrote this for Xbox Era. Now, this report is from August 1st of 2024. And the article goes on to say this. It looks like developer Obsidian Entertainment has another unannounced project in the works. Developer of the upcoming Outer Worlds sequel and the first-person role-playing game Avowed, we got a hint of something new coming thanks to eagle eyes of the community catching this on the company's newest hire and art director via LinkedIn. Per Daniel Kabakos' LinkedIn page, he's joined the company as a full-time art director around a week ago. Now, this is obviously back in August, folks. Now, of course, there's nothing else there. No images or any sorts of sneak previews here. And obviously, a game company is going to make games for as long as they're around. But hey, 2 games in the works with another in the backdrop. Obsidian is not letting up. Now, we talked about this before, see. They are the workhorse. There is no doubt about it. They've released almost 4 games. If you think about it, in the last couple of years, you have Grounded, which is a raging success. Pentiment won a lot of awards, not for me, but still a fantastic experience for a lot of people that enjoyed it.
Which is amazing that they have on Xbox, right? Like that's
the beauty
beautiful.
of it. Yeah, you don't need a AAA 50, $500 million game to be, viable on your platform. You can have these small things. Obviously, Avowed is a raging success. The Outer Worlds 1 sold very well. The Outer Worlds 2 coming in on the back end of the year. So I did some digging, and I wanted to, look, I've said this before, and I'm going to go on a little bit of a rant here. So bear with me, folks. I'm a big Bethesda fan. I'm a huge fan of Todd Howard. Love the work that he has done. If he leaves tomorrow, he could leave with his head high because he is walking out the door having launched a game that he wanted to make for 20 years in Starfield, and which of course is another raging success RPG, and of Indiana Jones last year, another phenomenal game that he helped from inception. Right, it was his passion for the character to have that game made, and if he walks away tomorrow, he's leaving with these 2 behemoths under his belt. He's a winner. But we know he's not leaving now. They're working on the Elder Scrolls 6. There's an early build that the team is playing, and it has, according to an article that I read just the other day, it has put a smile on the face of everyone working on this game. That's very exciting. But then this is where the rant comes in. I'm a Fallout guy. I've played through Fallout 4. I haven't beaten it because I get through it halfway, and it's just, I want a new Fallout. Okay. My favorite Fallout game of all time is not made by Bethesda. It's made by Obsidian. Okay. Fallout New Vegas stands as one of the best in the series, in my opinion. Was my favorite Obsidian game of all time. That has now been replaced by Avowed. So here is the rant. I'm 54, right? Now I'm going to be around at least for another 40. At least if I keep keeping myself in good shape and nothing egregious happens, I should be around to at least 104. At least I hope so. Anyway, I'm in
125, bro.
Uh,
125. By the
if
time we get there, technology should evolve enough to get us there. All right. My
I'm
goal is
there
to
with
have
you.
every single one of my kids over 100 before I die.
Well, you
That's
know
what I
what?
want.
That's a good way. I want to keep the NYPD paying the pension for at least
There
another
you go.
60 something years.
Or
Make
bleed them
those
dry. You know what I'm
MFs
saying?
pay.
Take them out of business.
Indeed, and I would definitely try. But look, here's the rant, ladies and gentlemen. We have not had a new Fallout game, and I'm not talking about Fallout 76. I understand that it was very MMO-ish, and now it's you can play, single player, and it has a story and has NPC. That's not the Fallout that I want to play. The same way the Elder Scrolls Online, you can play alone, you can have a great time with it. I'm not trying to live that life. I want a full on single player, story driven, narrative focused game in the Fallout universe. And if we're just going by pure mathematics, ladies and gentlemen, if if we have to wait for Bethesda to release it, Fallout 5 is not happening at least until 2030. Like, what are we even talking about here? That to me is egregious. And I'm going to tell you why it's egregious. They just had one of the biggest video game shows ever released into a streaming service on Amazon known as Fallout. It Hundreds of millions of people watched that show. And most of my normie friends who don't give a flying you know what about games could not stop talking about it. So at what point, see and chat, does Microsoft be like, you know something? We like money. We need to tap into this. Todd, we love you, but we can't wait for you to make a Fallout 5 in 2030. The second season is coming soon. We need to get some boots on the ground here. Well, interestingly enough, C Money, and I'm going to bring up your DM. I just got to go to Twitter real quick because there was a story that we did in fact talk about here, but it did go over a lot of the heads. A lot of people did not even run with this. Now, the story that I'm talking about is one that comes the way of Screen Rant. Now, they're normally a trades. They talk about film, but they talk about video games every now and again. This was written by George A. Aguilar. It was posted on February 4th, just a couple of weeks ago, right? And the title of it is Fallout New Vegas writer returns to Obsidian. Is a New Vegas sequel possible? Now, his name is John Gonzalez. He has returned to Obsidian after being away for 14 years, ladies and gentlemen. And of course, now it's starting to stir excitement. Now, he did come out and say, I'm back at Obsidian. I am working on something, but it is not, I quote, it is not New Vegas 2. But that's where it ends. So I did some digging. And
so he didn't say, to be clear, he didn't say it's not Fallout related.
No.
He just said it's not New Vegas 2. It's not
Fallout New Vegas 2 that he's writing, and that's where it ended. So again, this is we are just spitballing here, ladies and gentlemen. Take it for just opinions of two guys that really love Fallout. So I did some digging, and I said, they have been to a lot of places. They've been to Boston, they've been to Vegas, they've been everywhere. They've been to London, right? Because London is canon, even though it's a mod that was made by by fans. A Fallout New London, right? Awesome, it's canon. But they've never been to New York. So then I started digging. I said, let me see if there's anything to this Fallout New York debate. Well, first of all, I pulled a story that was published April 25th of 2023. It was by James Thornton, right? The lead title is from thegamer.com. It says, Fallout fans debate if New York would be a good setting. Now, one of the things, the controversies with Fallout New York is that a lot of people assume that it was cratered, meaning that, of course, if there's going to be fallout, New York is going to get it first, right? That's what usually happens. Well, again, depending on who you speak to, it wasn't cratered, right? It's still there. It still exists. So they've been to Boston, they've been to Vegas, they've been to Washington, D.C., they've been to London. They haven't been to New York. And again, this is just some speculation, ladies and gentlemen. I know that whatever Obsidian is working on, it is not going to be Fallout 5. That is going to be probably Todd Howard's swan song. And again, that's just my thoughts, because you got to remember,
I think he does a
getting up
Starfield 2.
You know what? Maybe
I think he does a
maybe
Starfield 2 before he finishes.
he's gonna want to retire at some point. I get it. He's working on the Elder Scrolls 6, right? That's the next big one. There's a couple of Indiana Jones projects that he's going to be helping with that have already been greenlit, from what we understand through certain leaks. There is going to be a Fallout 5. There's going to be a Starfield 2 for sure. That's a lot of games. I don't know how much he has left in the tank or how much he wants to stay around. But if there is one thing I am certain about, C Money, is that you don't bring back the writer of Fallout New Vegas, who has been absent from the company for 14 plus years. And the first things out of his mouth are, hey, I'm back at Obsidian to do some work, and that I'm not writing Fallout New Vegas 2. But he didn't say he wasn't writing a Fallout game. I think New York is up next. Let's get your thoughts on if this third game, this mystery third game that was reported on by Xbox Era, could in fact be a new Fallout, but not Fallout 5.
So, quick question before we dive into that. Do we know what he has been doing since he wrote that Fallout game?
I
Like,
could look it
types
up,
of games?
but I don't know.
Because I mean, maybe he's back, but maybe he's written some other types of games that they now are, might be useful for their next game. Because my only thing about the idea of a new Fallout, right, from them, is that even like they had these interviews for Avowed, and obviously a lot of people brought up the idea of what could be next, and and Fallout and things like that, and he has come out and said, yeah, they would love to do a Fallout. They also, Ryan kind of asked him about the fact that he knows that Fallout 5 would be a Todd Howard joint, but
he didn't say that, correct?
Something on the side, and they said they would like it. But he also said like they have their own stuff going on, right? And I feel like, as cool as it is for them to give us a Fallout game because fans crave that Bethesda IP, I just don't know, like, I don't, with how good they are at making these worlds, and they've already created their own. Pillars of Eternity is a massive IP as far as like the lore, and there's like fans of it, and they obviously the name itself has not garnered crazy amounts of sales. That's why instead of calling this Pillars of Eternity Avowed, they just called it Avowed, right? So like, I don't know if they would want to go ahead and invest time and energy in somebody else's IP, because even if they make a phenomenal Fallout game, it's still a Fallout game, right? And they're big enough to do it. The other thing is, if this was a game that was already being made and this guy's being brought into it, who's making it? Because from what we know, there's two big teams at Obsidian, and then the other teams are smaller, the Grounded team and the Pentiment team. So there's two big teams. One was making Avowed, the other one was making a Outer Worlds 2. So it would then be like, who else would, like, did they combine the other team? Are they gonna not make smaller games? I don't really know. And that's just the overall my question on the idea of it. But let's keep it to the fact that if they were, right? I feel like New York, as much as theoretically it should be, if Fallout were to take place in real life, New York would be the easiest to destroy, right? Big ass buildings, you nuke that bitch, like everything's gonna go everywhere. There's not gonna be anything less left. But if there was a way that maybe, I don't know, they put up some type of barrier or some type of way to mitigate the bomb, and it only blew up a certain area, and there's like it's possible. It's still a wasteland, right? Like that's the whole point. It's not necessarily, Fallout is not about seeing these um like these huge cities in their prime. It's to show you the destruction, right?
Right, of
So
course, yeah.
it would be interesting to see it. Some of these buildings will like just topple over, and they'll make ramps or something for other areas to explore. I mean, there's a lot there that could be done. But I feel like ultimately New York, as cool as that might be, I don't know, maybe there's other, places. Like I feel like LA might be cool to see,
That's not a bad pick.
like California, right? Like California is huge. It has a lot of different biomes. It has a lot of different stuff. If they took a segment of California or made their own like condensed California and gave you some of each region, to fully explore, I feel like that would be more compelling of a world, because as cool as New York is, right? And I'm assuming they wouldn't do New York State, right? They would do
No, New
New
York
York
City. It
City.
would be downtown
Um,
Manhattan. You spend a lot of time. Maybe get to Brooklyn. Maybe get and here's something that's interesting. You could use seasons. Now, the reason why I push back on the LA is because they already did Las Vegas, and they're so close. You know what I'm saying?
I didn't play Las Vegas, so I don't know. Are there a bunch of biomes in Las Vegas, or is it just Las Vegas?
I mean, it's pretty much just Vegas, but it's. I mean,
Yeah,
it's parts of California. It's still big. You know what I'm saying? It's still
yeah,
relatively big.
yeah. I mean,
The Black
that's
John says
possible.
Chicago would be a good pick. Now, if you're wondering where I came up with the New York thing, I went and pulled up a Reddit post that's years old. The thought of Fallout New York, you know where that started? Believe it or not, see money. 2013 is when the talk started to actually happen about them going to New York. So it's been discussed. And
Now,
again,
to
if you Ed,
to go real quick, to be fair, based off of what you just said, though, Music 72 brings up a good point that Boston is close to New York.
I mean, that's true. That is definitely true. I mean, it's 3 hour run by me by driving, so it's not
Yeah,
that
which is
far
about the
away.
same as Nevada, same as
Yeah.
Vegas to California. Because I remember, because when I went to E3 in 2017, I was thinking about going to Vegas. And I was like, man, that's a 3 hour drive, 3 hours back. I was like, ah. So technically, it's pretty similar
I mean,
of a
it's for
situation.
definitely for sure. But I will say this: look, I'll put it to you this way: whether it be California, whether it be someone wrote Fallout Wyoming. I mean, listen, Fallout Heartland, Fallout Nebraska from Scorpio. Oh, this is a good one. Fallout Hawaii. That would be pretty damn interesting. That would be so different because it'd be tropical, but I don't know if there'd be any water left. It's going to be interesting. Look, I'll put it to this way.
I feel like nobody destroys Hawaii. I feel like in the world of Fallout, I feel
That's
like
got to be the
everybody
one
says,
last
"Yo, you
beautiful
guys
place
want to
on
hit
earth.
Hawaii?" And they're like, "Ah, it's all right.
Fallout. Yeah, I
It's all
mean,
right."
listen, I will say this: regardless of where they go, and you know what, I want to bring something up to you as well because I have in front of me. I want to read this paragraph from this Screen Rant article. See,
Mhm.
as if sensing this. And he knew he was going to get the questions the minute he announced it. As soon as he walked into the building, he tweeted, "Hey, I'm back." Right? 14 years removed. Gonzalez has made it clear that his current project is not a New Vegas sequel. Again, that's where it stops. And the article goes on to say, despite this, his return does raise questions, especially since Obsidian has shown interest in the Fallout series through remakes or a new story. This news comes as Obsidian is busy preparing for the launch of Avowed. Obviously, this is older and is still working to release The Outer Worlds 2, but bringing back such an important figure suggests the developer might be thinking about returning to the Fallout universe, particularly, and they say, the Mojave Wasteland, which is something I would not have thought about, but that is also something that could work as well. I
Where's the
just don't,
Mojave Desert? I feel like
yeah,
I don't know where that is.
the Mojave Desert,
Like
isn't that in
geographically.
Mojave Desert? Let me see.
So I'm not a geography dude.
In
Mojave.
California. It's in California. I figured as much.
Ah.
So there you go. Fallout, California.
Mm.
There you go.
You see? No, I
So
don't know.
you might be
I
onto something,
mean,
see, but
I feel like there's a lot of biomes in California. You have like, you know, where
I
there's
mean, you
the
could even get a
trees and
snow
stuff. There's a
one
lot
because
of
there are
stuff.
mountains in California that get snow all the time, right? So
That's what I'm saying.
I mean,
It spans the entire, pretty much almost the entire, you know, length of the country, right? You got all the south, all the north, up to what the only thing above it is what, Washington or something like that. It's the only
you know,
thing that's
you'd have Seattle. You know, you have a couple of states.
yeah,
You know,
Seattle, Washington.
obviously,
Well, Seattle, Washington.
yeah. You know,
So
that's what that would be off to the right, and of course you have
that's where
Colorado.
Microsoft is, right? In
Yes,
Washington,
yes, yes.
Redmond.
I
So
don't listen. I'll say this, and obviously, you know, we're going to wrap it up in a few minutes, but I do want to just close with, I don't know where they're going to go, and I do have to admit, to, just based on the story from Screen Rant, I don't necessarily think that you bring this particular person whose claim to fame in gaming comes the way of one of your most popular RPGs in Fallout New Vegas, just to kind of have him hang around and drink lattes. Like it
what was
doesn't
his
make any
name
sense
again?
to me. What's that?
What's his name again?
His name is John Gonzalez. He has returned after
John
14 years.
Gonzalez,
So
game
I mean,
designer.
again, a lot of people, you know, people are talking about you know,
He worked on Horizon Forbidden West
yes, he did.
and
Yes.
Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yep.
So, which are also very similar to Fallout, like, you know,
Yeah. Well,
worlds
it's
that
the end
have
of the
been,
world, and now instead of
yeah,
it being a
worlds that
Fallout,
have
it's
been
just
destroyed.
you know, metal dinosaurs. But
So,
um
I mean, based off of the fact that he's kept in that same, um, in that same style of writing, like end of the world type scenario, um, maybe you're right. Maybe he is going to come do something like that. Maybe look. Also, you got to remember, like, maybe they just want to do their own version of it, right? You figure, like, Obsidian has fantasy. They have like that Outer Worlds. Was that more like sci-fi steampunk,
yeah, well,
right?
no, it's more sci-fi out of space.
Yeah, right. And then, you know, maybe they want to do their own take, right? Like, I feel like Obsidian now, after the purchase, right? After they got bought. Remember, you know, I don't know if, you know, when you look at it, you remember they were making their like Skyrim, right?
Yes.
Before they got purchased, 100% they were going to make a multiplayer Skyrim, right? Like that has been confirmed. But, you know, once they, you know, Xbox got involved, it was like, well, take out the multiplayer crap, and they were just going to make their Skyrim, right? Like that's what the game was going to be. But then when they bought Bethesda, it was like, oh snap, we don't need a Skyrim from you guys because we have that, right? So it's like, just like Outer Worlds was not a, you know, full open thing. Why don't you go ahead and do your own thing with Avowed? You know, make it slightly, you know, less big so that you can go ahead and actually finish this thing. But they're able to kind of make it their own. Maybe they are being like just like the opposite of, and I'm gonna say like the opposite, but like the counterpart to Bethesda, where it's like there's Elder Scrolls and then there's Pillars, right? Elder Scrolls is your bigger, you know, crazy open world, you know, experience, and then Pillars or Avowed is your, you know, slightly smaller, still big, but slightly smaller version. Maybe they're
Yeah.
just going to mirror the type of games that exist, but give a smaller, more containable, you know, version of it, more contained version of it. So maybe they're making their own type of Fallout, game. And they want him to do that. I don't know. I mean, it's there's a lot of ways that it can go. But the good news is the fact that he's on, that means he's working on something new. If he's working on something new, that means there's already a new game lined up for us to get in Game Pass, baby. Whatever it may be, don't matter, because they're gonna make it a banger. And that is the real exciting part of all of this, is that they're not stopping. They're bringing people back. They want that quality, right? Like, if anything, what this shows you is that they want this caliber of writer, right, coming in here. Now, Horizon doesn't help, right? It doesn't help the case.
The first one was really good. I'm not gonna front. I did not.
I feel like it's more about the direction of the cast than it was the story, right? I think the problem they had was they wanted Aloy to be the most boring woman ever known to mankind, and they took an actress who's actually a very good actress and drugged her up every time before her show just to make her sound like she's the most disinterested in life ever. Like, no matter what's taking place, it's like, yeah, this is so strange. Oh my God, I don't know why. Like, oh my God, Jesus, like, just end it now. You know what I'm saying? So, look, hopefully he's working on something that's going to be very exciting for us to see. Hopefully, coming in the next gen. I mean, listen, all the rumors have pointed to 2026 for next gen for Xbox. I will say that Xbox is known to squash a rumor that they think is unfounded, and they feel like
it be a detriment to the brand.
Yeah, because think about it. If people think a next gen's coming next year, that would stop people from buying a console this year, right? Because they're like, oh man, the next gen's coming, right? So you would want that to be squashed if that was false, but they're not going to lie to us. He's not going to tell us, no, it's not coming, and then haha, tricked you, bitch. Like, it is coming. Like, I don't think that that's going to be something that they would do. So I think 2026 is still very much part of the idea for the next gen. And Shuhei just did an interview where he said 2028 is looking like the PlayStation 6. Yeah. So you're talking almost a 2-year gap. I'm ready to see what new experience we're going to get. Whatever this guy's working on, I'm going to assume that it's going to be for a next gen title from Obsidian, which is dope, which means that chances are they're going big for their next game, right? Whatever they're working on had to start pre-production, probably from the Avowed team. Like, this might be Avowed's, like, the Avowed team's next game. If they just hired him and they're working on, as these games wrap up, they're always working on what's next, right? So, they bring him in, have him get started, and in a few years, you might have this game go up against the a next gen PlayStation release.
Listen, whichever way, I could tell you this right now: if you are a fan of Obsidian, you are winning, because not only are you many of us still playing through Avowed, right? Weeks after its launch, we played it 2 weeks before it launched, and now we're over a month playing it, which is, again, it does not seem to be getting old. The Outer Worlds 2 is going to be even better than the original. The original was unbelievably great. You're going to have Unreal Engine 5. You're going to have all the bells and whistles that you saw in Avowed, even more so in the Outer Worlds 2 at the back end of the year. And now we hear that they're working on a third project. There's no doubt that it's going to be, at least in my opinion, a Fallout game. Where, I don't know. I'd like it to go to New York, but of course I'm in New York, so that's why I want it there, and we'll see. But you are going to get, I would imagine the Outer Worlds 2 is going to do well. So you're going to get a sequel to that. You're going to get a sequel to Avowed, because that has exploded on the scene, and now you have potentially a new Fallout game happening. Now, I don't think that it's happening next year or even the year after that. But there has been talk of this, them working on this third project all the way going back to 2024, even before then. So we will definitely see. But, ladies and gentlemen,
real quick, what's another thing, real fast before we leave? Sure, let's not forget how Muse might help Bethesda turn these games around quicker.
Yeah, that's a very
You
interesting
know what I'm
thought.
saying? So,
Yeah.
we're used to the idea of them having to painstakingly do every little thing to get to somewhere where they can, make their game work right, or fill their kind of desire for what they want the game to be. And Muse AI is coming in right when they're going to be,
That's a
starting the idea
phenomenal
of a
thought and
Fallout.
theory, brother. I didn't even consider that. That's right. There's new, and again, you don't want to see. I know this is the deep dark rabbit hole that we're not going to go down now about the potential of job loss, because that's ultimately what's going to
This is
happen with
about
some of
this
this.
is
But
this is
it's
actually going to save jobs, bro. This is what people don't understand. If these teams keep taking 5, 6, 7, 8 years to make a game, when that game comes out, the chances of it hitting where it needs to hit to recoup that cost is crazy. If Muse can help these huge teams pump out AAA games back like in the 360 era when we used to get a Halo every 3 years like clockwork, right? If they can get down to a 3-year cycle, they're not firing people because of that. They're bringing more people on, starting more projects because they can develop more games
about
in
quicker.
the
Yeah.
same amount of time as they
Yep.
used to. They could do 2 games for every 1 game they were making. This is going to be phenomenal, bro. It's
Yeah,
going to be great.
I'm looking forward to the future for sure. But ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for us here. Nino Vistic, our generous friend, all the way from Hawaii, has done it again, ladies and gentlemen. He has gifted 1 Double Barrel Gaming membership. Aloha to you, my brother. Thank you for the generosity. Black Ronin, 357 in there, drops an outstanding $2 super chat. And he says, we need a Philly Fallout. Go Birds. PA has biomes. In fact, they do. You can go into Pittsburgh. You go into the mountains
PA is
of Philly.
crazy.
Yeah, PA
PA
is
is
pretty big, dude.
effing ridiculous how big that shit is.
So yeah, that's not that again, not a bad point. Again, hopefully, folks, you enjoyed the conversation enough to hit the like button. If you already hit the like button, that's awesome. We thank you very much. Maybe, just maybe, you're not subscribed. Well, consider subscribing because I do this 5 days a week, ladies and gentlemen. It would really help if as we trek towards 16K. We're about 300 and I think 11 away from 16K, which isn't a lot, but still enough to kind of hold us out by arm's length. Help us get there, ladies and gentlemen. We do this 5 days a week. We do it for you. We have fun doing it. We don't use hate rhetoric to sell the brand, and we just have fun. And hopefully, you are having fun listening to the show. See Money, we got to sell your brand, brother. On Point for Gamers. You and the missus do an amazing job each and every week where you bring up a lot of the rhetoric that goes on in the community. You fight back against the false narratives that a lot of the PlayStation loyalists or cultists, if you want to call them that, go out and try to, talk about, about Xbox and its players. And you guys fight back against that. And we all appreciate that you do. Sell the brand, brother. Where can people subscribe to your YouTube channel? Talk about the shows you do weekly with the missus, and more importantly, follow you guys on social media.
Yeah, man. Well, obviously, Boom, first of all, as I do, man, appreciate you, homie. Love being on the show. So,
Thank you,
first
sir.
and foremost, you can catch us here Thursday, 12 p.m. Eastern, X Vlog Live. So, definitely do that. But yeah, man, as far as on Twitter, you can follow me here. See Money Forever, my wife Doodle. She's at Doodle to be free. You can follow her on Twitter there. And then you can follow just our channel, On Point for Gamers. If you don't want the saltiness or the slap ups of the ponies, just follow On Point. That's a safe space over there. And On Point is everywhere. So On Point for Gamers here on Threads, on Blue Sky, on LinkedIn, on TikTok, wherever. On Point is there. So definitely go check that out. And then on we do have a channel, right? On Point for Gamers. I did put the link in the chat. And we're on our road to 25K, man. We do appreciate all the support. So definitely come check us out. We do 4 shows a week. And then we have some bonus shows for members on Saturdays, and then we'll just stream or do whatever reviews and previews and stuff on the channel as well. But for our live shows, we do 4. It's Sunday morning, 10 a.m. Eastern. Morning Quest. We have a Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, which is Night Quest. That one has Farrell Bizarre and Fuzzy every 2 weeks or so. Fuzzy Belvedere, the homie. We just had a great show this past Tuesday. You should check it out. And then Thursday night, so tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, we have the On Point Gaming Podcast. I'm doing it myself. We're gonna have a great time. It's gonna be fun. And then Friday nights is our fun night. We have the night show. I mean, they're all fun nights. We constantly find ourselves saying, "Is this Friday night?" because things just been getting crazy almost every time we're live now. So, but Friday nights is night shift, 8 p.m. Eastern. We got the homie Demo Flow Gaming and our brother Hargeet Shani. Shout out to him. He's going through some personal stuff right now.
Yep.
So shout out to our brother. So he won't be there this Friday. But hopefully we'll have him back, once he's once some time has gone on. But yeah, so that's Friday night show. It's a fun time, man. Come check us out, man. We give our opinions through the scope of an Xbox fan. You know what I'm saying? Like everything is how we see it. So whatever news is out there is through our eyes, whether it's PlayStation stuff that's going on, Xbox stuff that's going on. We're loving the Avowed game. So we've talked about that so much. But yeah, it's a good time, man. Come out, hang out. It's fun. Appreciate y'all again. Boom. Appreciate you, man.
Thank you, brother. Super appreciate that we work together every Thursday. Again, hopefully the exposure has been great for the channel, because that's what it's all about. Is not only repping Double Barrel Gaming, we're here to help others raise. When the water raises us, it raises everybody. Which is why Mrs. Boom and I go out of our way to promote other people's things, because you should be a good human, and you should want to see others succeed. And we're not worrying about, oh my God, if they succeed, we won't. No, that's not the way it works. If one succeeds, we all succeed. And that's the way we're always going to do our business here. But for C Money, for myself, we want to thank you so much for checking out the new episode of X Vlog Live. And of course, a big thank you to all of the super chats and channel memberships that continue to come in and support the channel, both behind the scenes as well as super chats during the live streams. We definitely appreciate it. And of course, it wouldn't be an end of show if I didn't close it out with something that's incredibly important to me, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully one day be important to you. And that's something that my dad taught us when we were kids. And he would say, Craig, treat others how you want to be treated. And also, it doesn't cost anything to be nice. You live by those rules, son. I can guarantee you're going to have an awesome day. So take care, everyone. And we'll see you next week on the newest episode of X Vlog Live.